Hi guys, it's Belle here and welcome back for day 15 of Junk Journal January 2024, hosted by the lovely Meg Journals in collaboration with Get Messy Arts. Links will be in the description box below. And today's prompt is homemade. And my mind went to baking cakes, homemade. I used to make so many like biscuits and cakes and things for my kids when they were little, for the school fetes and things like that. And I just love to bake. And then that made me think about, as it's just recently been my birthday, birthday cakes. And I remembered that I had this picture of my dad. So this is my dad. And that's his mum, my grandma. My dad sadly passed away quite a few years ago now. He was quite young when he passed. And this is him on his obviously second birthday. And I just thought, do you know what? I want to use that picture. He's got his birthday cake. It would definitely have been homemade. And this is obviously a little party because there's relatives with their party hats on. So I want to use that. I want to have my little collage mapped around that picture of my dad. And I have this scrap from a scrapbook. Do you know what? Let's work on the page. Let's just work on this page. I'm both happy that I haven't bound this journal or that it's unbound. But also it's quite irritating when all the pages fall out. But this I've had to put some washi on because this was ripping. It's on the other side of that awful page that I really don't like. But I obviously have decided to keep it in my journal because I'm about to do a page with my dad on it. So I want to use this scrapbook paper in the background. I'm going to sort of rip it. I just like the fact that it's got the pink and the brown and the flowers. So I like that aspect of it. And I also thought it might strengthen that bit. And I'm going to keep that little hole there. I might put something underneath it. And I wanted to use some tags. And I don't know why. This was from a box I must have got years ago. So I wanted to use some tags. I might have this one poking out the bottom actually, to give some kind of interest to the journal, different layers and things. Let's layer this up. This one I've embossed. Can you see that? It's got teapot and cups and a little cake and little love hearts. I just thought that was super cute. And then I just embossed this one with a bit of dots, and it's a bit of craft card. And I'm thinking Dad's photo can kind of go there. So we're giving it a little bit of interest on the page with the different embossing and the different layering of the tags. Like so. I'm liking that. I also pulled out, this is from a vintage recipe book that was actually gifted to me by my father-in-law. So I kind of thought that kind of worked as well because both my dad and my father-in-law were in the army and they actually knew each other, because if you didn't know, me and my partner met each other when we were teens, when our parents were stationed at the same camp. So I just thought that kind of, yeah, kind of all went together. And obviously you would use your recipe book to bake your cakes. So I thought it might be nice to add a little bit of that on there. And my dad was also an absolutely amazing cook. Not baking. He couldn't really bake. I don't think I ever remember him baking in my entire life. But my goodness, was his food amazing. And he travelled all over the world. So he used to make us the most beautiful dishes from the Mediterranean and the Middle East and all those sort of things. Oh my goodness, it was delish. So I need to think about where I'm going to put my number. We've got this whole bit of the page still, so we could put the number kind of there. He's obviously not 15. So, yeah, I just thought this would be quite a nice kind of, I quite like that there. I pulled out some doily as well, because, you know, you would eat your cake on a little bit of, especially back then, you'd eat your cake on a little bit of doily, a little napkin. So, got to have some of that. I have some numbers as well. I don't know why I wanted the numbers, but I feel like I do. And this is from a vintage piece as well. So, yeah. Just wanted to do this. Probably just reminiscing, you know, this is my birthday month and that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just in my mind. But either way, it's lovely. I love using vintage photos anyway. You would have seen me use that on a previous page. So I love using vintage photos. I also had this little Tim Holtz flower that I was thinking of putting on here. Dad's little face in that picture as well. Oh my gosh, it cracks me right up. He's just like, what's happening? Oh, he's supposed to be excited. It's his birthday, but he's more like, what's happening? What is this? Yeah, I love using vintage photos at the best of times in my kits. In my projects. But when it's a family vintage photo, I mean, if I can add memory keeping to my projects, I always like that. I do come from a scrapbooking kind of background in my crafting, so that really speaks to me to be able to use that kind of stuff. I'm wondering if I want another little bit of doily. We're going to see. I'm going to be adding some fabric because I do actually want to add a little bit of stitching. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, that's there. You can't really see the number if I add the doily there, but... So we're just playing at the moment because obviously I've got to then stick everything down and I want some fabric. I did put out some bits of fabric. Got this blue to pick up some of the blue in the flowers up there. So yes. Such a little cutie. Look at his little face. Oh, it makes me laugh. He was quite, as he would say, the tinker, like a little bit mischievous. I don't know, just when I grew up and Dad used to say it all the time, he'd be like, are you being a tinker? And he meant like, are you being a little bit naughty? Are you being a little bit mischievous? So I think that's just the word. I know tinker can mean other things that aren't always so... complimentary maybe, or that, but the way he used it was always about being a little bit mischievous. So that's how I think of it. He would always say things like as well, if you got yourself in a little bit of a pickle. He was such a sweet, sweet man. Anyway, I think that's good, and we're going to stitch around it, and then we are also going to put some words on here. So the first thing I need to do is kind of try and move all this off. Let's try gluing parts of it together first, shall we? Because although I really need to ink around the edge of this photo because I can see some white. And there's my nanny too. Sadly as well, I never actually got to meet her because she passed away before I got to meet her. But I know my dad absolutely adored his mum. So, yeah, that was sad. But I have all the stories of her from my dad and from my granddad and everything. So that's always fun. And I have the photos. I've got so many photos of her. And my dad obviously got his mischievous sense of humour from his mum, because there are some photos, I mean, where she is having a bit of a laugh and just thoroughly enjoying herself. being quite mischievous and funny. So yeah, he obviously got his sense of humour from his mum. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to do this. And I used to make my kids their birthday cakes as well for many years. I used to make their homemade birthday cakes and things that they wanted for their, try and get that off, for their school fetes. You know, hundreds of biscuits and things like that. I used to do all that for them. Right, I should be able to lift most of this off now and then glue that bit in there. Then we can glue the other bit down. I want to stitch on here before I stick it back down onto the main page. So I will finish, I'll just do that, and then I'm going to glue this. It's such a cute picture of my dad. Oh dear. But I could be biased. So, yeah. But we make homemade things for our kids, don't we? I mean, I used to make all the, like I said, birthday cakes, and I love to bake. I don't bake as much anymore because the kids aren't home, and, you know, I'm not going to eat all those cakes and things for myself. And one of the first things I learnt to bake, being Irish, at my grandmother's knee, was soda bread. I love making soda bread. It's so quick and easy to make and brilliant with homemade soup. But I particularly love making cakes and things. I mean, who doesn't? So I used to always bake for the kids. But they're older now. Although I have to say, when they come home or when we go and see them, there often is, I don't know, a little bit of something made for them. Because it's always exciting to see them, isn't it? So yeah, that's going to go on like so and hang off the edge. Love it. And we're going to have a little bit of the page up there. And now I'm going to stitch. So we had this. I'm going to glue it just a smidge because obviously we're going to stitch. But I want some fabric on here. It's the face. He just looks a little bit shell-shocked. A bit like, what? What's happening? And all the other kids are like, let's look at the cake. Okay, let's have this down a little bit. So I am going to, first of all, I'm going to glue this on. And this is a little scrap of rust coloured fabric. So let's get my needle, or one of my needles, and let's, is that a sharp one? I like really sharp ones if I'm going to be going through a lot of fabric. That one I'll have to do. And what colour do I want on here? We've got some pink in the flowers and blue on there. So should we have some pink? My dad wouldn't have minded. And we've got some pink there. So do I want this paler pink or do I want this brighter pink? I think I want the brighter pink to stand up. And I might even do a little bit of stitching up there. So yes, we're going to do that. Let's put a knot in here. I've been going through a lot of old photos because I do want to use more of them in my crafting, my family photos. And yeah, that hasn't got the whole thing. And so you'll probably see projects coming throughout the year with some of my family photos. And let's just do a little cross. And let's just do that. So let's go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 1 You don't have to do anything fancy when you're stitching or hand stitching. You can just do something simple like so. And let's do that there. Gosh, I'm going through so many layers, guys, honestly. And I've embossed just to really add to the difficulty of hand stitching on camera. Several layers and embossing. That's the way to do it. Who used to say that? Oh, I think it's from Punch and Judy. Ugh, I don't like Punch and Judy. So anyway, yeah. Oh, it's horrible. Okay, I am definitely biased, but there you go. I'm allowed to be. So pull out your old photos, guys. Not the originals. I mean, I would never use the originals unless it was in a scrapbook or a photo album. I'm not using the originals. But pull out your old photos, and if you're able to, scan them and then put them on your computers so that you can use them in your projects, because we've got so many, well, a lot of us have got so many. I've actually used proper photo paper for this, so it's kind of picking up all the different bits of dust. We've got so many old family photos and they're just sitting up there. And realistically, how often are you guys looking at them? And even if you've got them up on your walls, because obviously I've got photos up on my walls, if you're not changing them out every so often, they just become part of the background and you're not really taking them in anymore, which I think is just sad. So I like to swap up photos and I like to use them in crafts. And I've got so many photo albums, guys. But what I tend to do is I'll get certain ones out so that if the kids are home and things, because they always love looking at their photos, there'll be different ones every few months or so. We can swap them out and things so that they get to look at different ones, and it just keeps things interesting. Right, on this one, I'm going to do some lines, just some simple lines. So, and then we're going to glue it down and we're going to put the tag and some words on it. So yeah, so it's just nice to change it up, guys, and to get those memories out and, you know, really appreciate the photos, look at the people in it. A lot of us, if we are journalers and that, will actually use even digitals of vintage photos, and we look at those maybe sometimes more than we look at our own family ones, and that just seems like a bit of a shame, guys, you know. Because these mean more, and they then make the project really special. So let's pull this out. So I have a thread sticking out of there. Let's pull at that. Do I just want the two? No, I think I want another one. I think I do want another one. Let's put the hole in through here so I can see it. So, do. Right, come on through there. There we go. So yeah, pull them out, have a play with them, make some projects, make some memories, and at least if it's just a copy, guys, if you don't like what you create, what does it matter? Because it's just a copy. You've got the original. You can make a different page, you know. Don't overthink it at all. Okay, So we've got some hand stitching on there. I'm going to bring that up. We're going to have that poking over the bottom. And then I need the tab. I actually wanted it slightly under the doily, didn't I? Right, let's glue this down now. So many layers, guys. Let's glue kind of from here. And really make sure there's good glue on those threads. Realistically, I did not have to put knots in it because I could have just, what would have probably worked better is if I just used a bit of washi or some sellotape to hold it in place, because then it would be flatter to stick on my page. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to turn this page over. Don't look at the other page, guys. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. The camera's attached to the table, so it tends to shake when I'm doing certain things. Let's put this on here now. Yeah, I really hate how photo paper, like if I'd picked the matte one, which I work with a lot, it wouldn't be picking up the little bits like the way this glossy one is. Okay, so I like that. So now I want some words on here, guys. I did have another little bit of lace, but theoretically I don't need it because I was thinking of doing it down there. And now I'm looking at it and kind of liking it. Let's have a look. Let's just cut it and have a look. Do I like it down there? Oh, I tell you what I do have. I have this little scrap of blue paper. It reminded me of the old Wedgwood china and stuff. That's why I pulled it, because it made me think of tea sets and all that. So that could look quite nice there, even though I haven't pulled it in anywhere else. So that could go there. Let's ink it and see what it looks like inked, because I often think that helps. I don't want it as long as that. So we could pull a little bit of it there. No, I don't think I will. Right, okay, so we have some of the Tim Holtz sayings. What one is this? This is the Tim Holtz Small Talk. And I thought that there is no beauty shines brighter than a good heart, which is quite nice. And there's also this is what family looks like, which I kind of love too. Wishing you all you're wishing for, that's also a good one. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Do you know, I think I want that one. All the others are just as good, but I think I want ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Firstly, because, you know, baking. But also, that's how I think about my dad. So... and that's how, you know, even his mum. So she was a nurse. And we all know how amazing nurses are. So ordinary people can do extraordinary. But I don't know about you guys, but if you watch British Bake Off, oh my goodness. They do the most extraordinary things. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm wondering if I want it to say something like... be you bravely. I always love be you bravely, but We don't always need to stick that on. I don't want a white, but I thought I might want something just there. We do have the rub-ons. So let's have a look at these. I was almost tempted to do the white rub-ons because this is very black and white, but I don't think they'll work. So we do have the rub-ons. Sweet Life. Own Your Story. Bum, bum, bum. Birthday Wishes. I mean, we just want to use birthday wishes, don't we? Or Dreamer of Dreams birthday wishes. Because obviously it's his birthday. So let's take that off and have a look at what that looks like. I've just put it on there, on the cake. Yeah, I like it. Okay, where's the rub-on stick? This stick has managed to actually stay with these rub-ons, which is practically a miracle in my craft room. Because they always disappear. I think it's just because I use rub-ons so much. Ugh. All right, guys. So there we have it. Today's Junk Journal July. I have noticed that I've been doing a lot more kind of collagey ones in this journal. Certainly in January, I really was playing more with layering and texturing and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Change things up. And the prompt was homemade, so I went with the idea of baking, which led me down the road of birthday cakes, which led me to this photo of my dad on his 2nd birthday. And then we just built up around that for day 15. And if I get the journal back, this goes in here. And that page will sort of stick out on other pages. Once it's all together, it's going to stick out the bottom maybe of the journal, or wherever I put the page, it will just stick out a little bit. And I kind of love it. Really need to get these sorted. And that is today's Junk Journal January. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I hope it inspired you to go have a look at some of your favourite photos, family photos. Even if you don't have really old ones, I've got some from, I don't know, 1890 or whatever. Even if you don't have some old ones, you can always turn yours into black and white ones and kind of use those in your crafts as well. You know, you can change them around. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed putting this together and just having a little wander down memory lane with my little tinker of a dad on his 2nd birthday. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me with this spread. I really do hope you like it. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now, guys.